Felt the need to get this off my chest since it happened. It was the most profound emotional experience in my life. Decided to go to my first rave at 10 p.m. at night with a friend. Grabbed my 1/4 of bud, swag, and my steamroller, hopped in the car with my friend. We rolled down all the windows since I wanted to smoke and he was driving. 0.4 bowls and 26 minutes later we're sitting in the parking lot of the rave. Friend went to find his contact, so I sat in the car, smoked 2 more bowls. I was smoking so much because I have an aversion to people, and that particular weekend is a major downer in my life. So it was to loosen me up. My friend comes back, and I'm 3/4 out of it and hands me 3 Buddhas. He says chew one up then take another one in about an hour and a half, then the next 3 hours after that. I chew one up and swallow. It tasted like ass. I take the other 2, put them between my driver's license and my health benefits card and crush them. As I'm pouring them into a cracky sack, he tells me that's not a good idea to be nursing the cracky sack all night. I don't listen. We get out of the car and walk to the front door. I can see the edginess in his eyes on whether or not I'm going to be able to go through the stupid human tricks security puts us through. He doesn't know how skilled I've become at pretending I know what's going on around me. The trick is not to pay attention to everything but to ignore 90% of everything around you. Pay my entrance fee, and follow him out to the dance floor. Good thing I brought my sweatshirt. My friend disappeared. Started watching the lights. The lasers were beautiful. I noticed that I was standing in the middle of the dance floor staring at nothing. Better sit down before someone notices me. I sit along the wall for about an eternity. I noticed that while the lasers were really neat to look at, the people dancing with glow sticks were better. The music a girl told me was called trance. I've never heard anything more beautiful. Slipknot is nothing compared to whatever I was listening to. I started to feel the pot wear off, so I pulled out my cracky sack, stuck my inch-long pinky nail. Was originally used to pick seeds out of pot, and it pulled out some and snorted it. It burned. Started mumbling, oh my god," to myself. My mind was racing. Fuck. I've made a mistake. I calmed myself down, telling myself that the burning would go away in a bit. It did. It must have hit me pretty quick because everyone started looking fuzzy. The glow sticks started looking like fuzzy little lightning bolts. I started getting antsy. Decided I tried to procure a refreshment. Stood up. Almost fell over. Sat back down. A security guard member who had his nose bridge pierced came over to me and rubbed my shoulder. Blank. The music is beautiful. I'm sitting on the floor. The security guard who has his nose bridge pierced comes over, hands me a Hawaiian punch, quick slam, and a gallon of water and my change. He tells me to have fun and don't overdo it. He leaves. I open the Hawaiian punch and take a sip. It tasted like God. I down the whole thing. I can't dance, so I start bobbing and weaving to the music sitting on the ground. A girl walks up to me, sits down, asks me for a drink of my water. I give this fuzzy person some of my water because she said please. She asks me if I'd like a light show. I asked her what a light show was. She shows me. I love this woman with the lightning bolts and I tell her how beautiful she is. She laughs, says thanks. She says, I'm Sue. Fucked up. I say, yeah, I'm pretty much a puddle. I asked her if she would like some she says sure. I pull out my cracky sack and hand it to her. She looks at me apprehensively. Ick. Hands it back and says she changed her mind. I ask why. She says, it didn't look safe. I pulled some out with my nail and snorted it. The burning came back, but I was okay with this, knowing it would go away. I then say, if it was evil I wouldn't have done that. She says, okay, can I have your keys? I pull out the I've none left now. With my pinky, and she snorts it off my fingernail. She asks me for a massage. I say yes because she said please. She sits between my legs and I start at the base of her skull. It was amazing. This beautiful creature melted in my hands as I worked my way down her back. She leaned back against me as I started at her shoulders and started rubbing my leg. She said my fuzzy pants felt really cool. Blank. The music is beautiful. This girl asks me if my hands are tired. I say, no, why? She looks at me funny. I ask her if she would show me how to do liquid. She agrees and I say I'm going to go buy glow sticks. My friend and one of his chick friends comes up to me and asks if I would like to bump. Not knowing what that is, I say, sure. I go into the chill-out room and sit down with them. She hands me a cracky sack with some white powder in it. I dip in once, twice, 4 times with my pinky. It burns really bad. Shit started to go blank. Nose started bleeding, had to sniff like a madman to keep the blood from coming out my nostrils. Blood clotted in my nose, couldn't smell. But no blood was coming out anymore. My friend disappeared. Leaning against the wall, mind blank. Swaying to experimental ambient. My beautiful dancer comes up to me, asks me where I went to. I told her I bumped. We started talking about ourselves. She asked me how I got the burn on my forearm. Tears filled my eyes. She told me she was sorry. I told her it was okay. We sat there in silence, me still swaying to the music, entrapped by dark thoughts that she brought to the surface. She sat staring off into space, enwrapped in her own thoughts. I see her mouth moving. I say, "What?" Her mouth moves again. I say, "What?" She asks me how that scar got on my forehead. This time I couldn't hold back the tears. I sat there looking at her, silent, with tears running down my face. She tried giving me a hug. I didn't want her touching me and accidentally screamed, "No." Everyone looked at me. I said, "Sorry." A security guard came up to me. I told him everything was okay, I just didn't know how loud I was getting. He looked at my tear-stained face and said, "You sure?" I said yeah. He left. I sat there looking at her with tears streaming down my face. She said, "Oh my God. I'm so sorry." She tried to hold my hand. I pulled away, shut my eyes and leaned my head back against the wall. Someone taps me on the shoulder. My eyes snap open. It's my friend. My beautiful dancer had found him for me. My mind wasn't as goofy now, and he asked if I'd like to candy flip with him. Not knowing what that was, I said, "Sure." He gives me 2 hits of LSD and tells me to snort some E. I tell him I'm out of E. He gives me another called Mitsubishi. Hour later. I stand up. Kind of wobbly. Concentrate on walking. My dancing girl takes me by the hand out to the dance floor, tells me I have to hear astral projection. I go out on the dance floor. As soon as I catch the beat, I got all this energy. Everyone was dancing and moving. I started moving. Since I didn't know how to dance, I started moving through Aikido and Taekwondo moves. My friend stops me, hands me some water and glow sticks. I take a swig. He shows me a couple glow stick moves. I take my shirt off cause now I'm sweating like crazy. Glow sticks in hands and shoelaces. I start moving again, incorporating glow stick movements with my sticks. Faster, faster, faster. I don't know how long I've been moving. I'm not even thinking which kick, punch to go into next. I just go. Faster, faster, faster. The room doesn't make sense to me anymore. That's okay, because the important thing for me to be doing is moving. After a year and a half, my friend stops me, tells me to chill for a bit. I shake my head, realize I'm dripping sweat, and there is this huge group of people looking at me, some sitting, some standing. Embarrassed, I wobble, boy are my legs tired, to the wall and slide down it, huffing and puffing. I gulp down a liter of water and send my friend to get me some more. While he and I are sitting there, he pulls out a cracky sack and dumps it in the water. I tell him I think I'm good for the night with candy. He tells me it's just salt and that I have to drink it. While nursing my salt water, a guy comes up to me and says, "Dude, you were fucking amazing." Perplexed, I said, "Did I almost get in trouble?" He said no. He said he has never seen someone move that fast, that fluid, for so long. I say thanks. Leaning back against the wall and ponder the first real compliment I've ever gotten for the rest of the night. Next morning I woke up and felt like living death. Every part of me hurt. The point of this story is, I get up for work on time. No customer complaints since this night. I keep my apartment clean. Take a shower more than once a week. And I say hello to strangers.